So it is way too early season of sorts. The post-spring edition of way too early lists are all floating out there. And I was reading Mark Shlabach of ESPN. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I was reading his, because I thought he had a pretty good list going into spring ball. And then coming out of it, there was something that just made me drop my head and go, oh boy. Oh no. Coming in at number 25, in the eyes of Mr. Shlabach, the Oklahoma Sooners, who previously were not ranked. Now, admittedly, they had a pretty good transfer portal cycle. They picked up perhaps the best two guys at their respective positions, quarterback and running back. When you combine the winter and spring windows, they brought in John Mateer, quarterback from Washington State. They brought in Jadyn Ott, the running back from Cal. And that move getting Ott from Cal, it was pretty unexpected. I don't think a lot of people were sitting around going, oh yeah, Jadyn Ott's going to I don't know why he left for his final year of college football, except that Oklahoma's a better place to be than Cal, that's stuck in perpetual mediocrity. So the idea that the Sooners could be seen, this rings, unfortunately, bells in my head that call me back to a time where 2 years ago, Tennessee was seen as good. They were not. And then last year, and frankly the year before, Missouri was viewed as good. Yeah, they were not. Remember, Oklahoma plays in the SEC. I just feel the need to remind people of that because it's weird. It's still strange. It's incredibly weird. But they're in the Southeastern Conference, which for a long time has gotten the benefit of the doubt, and justifiably so. Remember, in 2024, the SEC showcased in their non-conference results and their conference results, frankly, and the college football playoff, but only those areas, really, that they are not the SEC of old. They were not just defiantly better than everybody else in college football. So can you give me, again, I like John Mateer. I really do. He's one of my top quarterbacks that moved teams this transfer portal cycle. I think he was really good. Carson Beck was really good. I think Malik Murphy going from Duke to Oregon State was a really big pickup as well for the Beavs. But to say that Oklahoma should be viewed as a preseason top 25 team, completely and utterly ridiculous. This is a 6-7 football team last year. I know they went out and made a bunch of moves. I still don't know what their offensive line is going to be. They're relying on guys who definitely have some talent and potential, but don't have proven power for production necessarily at receiver, like Giovanni Gibson. Really talented. I haven't seen him do it in the SEC for an entire year, so I'm going to, reserve judgment there. But I think he can be good. But more than any of those position guys, who I could argue, skill position guys, we'll see how it goes in the SEC. Can we talk about John Mateer for a moment? Who I like, who is good, who I think will do well. He brings his offensive coordinator with him from Pullman, Ben Arbuckle, who was really good up there. Didn't develop a running game, by the way. Did not do it. Could not do it. I don't know if it was personnel-based or scheme-based. I think it was a combination of both. He's an air raid sort of guy. They didn't have elite offensive linemen the last couple of years up in Pullman, so they had solid but not great running backs. It just wasn't something they did very well. So it's great they bring in Jadyn Ott. That's, of course, bringing in a premier player at a position that we don't know if your offensive coordinator knows how to fully utilize just yet. That's beside the point. The point I do want to make, beyond Arbuckle's ability, which I think is quite a bit, is John Mateer just had a great season. Played for 1 year at Washington State. Cam Ward, before he went to Miami, played 2 years in Pullman after coming from Incarnate Word. Mateer went to Washington State, sat for a little while behind Ward, took over the starting job, and he thrived. He could run the ball a lot. He was pushing it down the field. He was playing basically against the Mountain West. He played against other teams as well. They beat Texas Tech, who was a good team. They beat Washington, who was a bowl team in the Big Ten. Not saying Mateer hasn't showcased some things against high-level competition, But he is the way you should look at him is someone who's transferring from a Boise State, who Washington State played last year on the road and lost to. And Boise State was quite good. You wouldn't take Maddox Madsen, because he's not as physically talented of a guy, of course, Boise State's quarterback. You wouldn't take him and put him in the SEC. I don't think there's another quarterback out there. You would take Mikey Keene went from Fresno State to Michigan. Now, I think there's an injury concern that's factoring into this discussion of what I'm about to say. It looks like they're going to start Bryce Underwood, the 5-star number 1 quarterback, which I support, by the way, because I don't think Michigan's a conference title contender this year. I think they are next year, and they should have Bryce Underwood as prepared as possible to go and thrive in 2026. That's just me. That's just me. I doubt that's how Sharon Moore thinks, but at least not. It's maybe not the first thing that he thinks. But John Mateer is in himself a question mark. That could be a really good answer. You could have a great answer to that question. You could also have an answer that makes you go, yeah, this isn't working as well in the SEC. You are going to have those plays. You're going to have those plays. Those moments, sequences. You could have entire games where it's, yeah, you're not playing San Jose State. This is going to be different. Oklahoma's schedule, not a cakewalk. Not a cakewalk. Far from it, as a matter of fact. They play Michigan, speaking of the Wolverines, week 2. They've got Auburn. They've got Texas, of course, every year. They go at South Carolina. Listen to the back half of Oklahoma's schedule here. And tell me why you think this is a great situation, why Oklahoma should be a preseason top 25 team. This would be ridiculous if the AP voters put this out there. At South Carolina, host Ole Miss. At Tennessee, at Alabama, host Missouri, host LSU. Now, a reasoned response to what I just said would be, well, who they play on their schedule shouldn't affect, how we view them going into the year. Okay, so let's look at what we have to go on. A quarterback who's never played in the SEC, coming to join a team that still has question marks along the offensive line, which was a huge problem last year, that just changed offensive coordinators because, well, it was really, really bad last year. And, oh, by the way, they went 6-7 and lost to Navy. Can you give me any other conference in which a team, even one with as big a brand as Oklahoma's, let's take a big brand from the Let's take Miami. That's a good example. Or Florida State. Let's take Florida State. Let's say Florida State this year, coming off that 2-10 campaign, were to go 6-6, make a bowl game, and lose to Navy. Do you believe that there is a number of moves they could make in the offseason to put them in the preseason top 25? I don't think even for Florida State. I don't even think for Miami. Like, the idea that Oklahoma should be seen as 4 spots worse in Shlabach's view than Miami, who won 10 games last year and added a far more proven quarterback in Carson Beck. And he's got Miami as a preseason number 21. And Oklahoma preseason number 25. Brent Venables has had more losing seasons than winning ones in Norman so far. With the least proven quarterback he's had. The last time, by the way, he went with, a younger, talented guy. Different scenarios, to be sure. Jackson Arnold plays for Auburn now. Didn't work out the way they were hoping for. I just don't know what benefit of the doubt Brent Venables has earned in his time at Oklahoma. Where is it? Is it the consistency on defense? Yeah, okay, they've gotten better. The first year was a disaster, but certainly it got better. But when you haven't been able to figure out the quarterback situation like last year with Dylan Gabriel, they went 10-2. Gabriel leaves, it was a mess. All right, so you make a change of offensive coordinator and you're banking on a couple guys that just had a good year, mostly against the Mountain West, and now you're going to try that against the SEC. Red flag right here. Oklahoma preseason top 25. I have got no confidence that they are deserving of that particular metric. That is not how I would see them. They got plenty of talent on the roster. Peyton Bowen's a really good player. At safety was a big-time recruit. They've got Deion Burks back, former Purdue transfer. Williams, the nose tackle, is really good. Like, they've got some talent. They could be fine. Preseason top 25? No, I could find 25 teams I would rank ahead of Oklahoma going into the year. They'll have a chance to prove it. I don't think they'll prove Shlabach right there. So